We're live.
We are. Let me put my headphones in so it's not crazy.
All right. Well, everyone, if you're watching this right now, this is the most laid back video you will ever see from the Carolina Weather Group. It is 1:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and we are currently watching live the landfall of Hurricane Laura in southwestern Louisiana and far eastern coastal Texas. At the moment, we are tuned into a couple of live streams from Live Storms Media that we cannot share on the screen for legal broadcast reasons. But we will tweet the link out. We will put it out on Facebook for anyone who wants to watch along with us. You guys drop some questions in the comments if you'd like. What you think's happening, your opinion, we'd love to hear it. Yeah, Evan Fisher, Scotty Powell. It's a late night.
Yes. Welcome. This is very informal. We're just looking at various outlets, Livestorm Media, Weather Chat, Weather Channel, Twitter. We'd love for you to interact with us. We have the comments open, so feel free to throw any questions our way if you have any. And we're going to watch landfall, which should occur over the next hour or so. So just we're not calling it a party because it's pretty somber, but there's some commentary and what we are seeing as Laura makes approach to landfall here.
Scotty, I don't know about you, but my Breaded Air stream just died. Did yours as well?
Mine's still going right now. So.
Let me go ahead and tweet out a link, and we'll post it on Facebook as well. If you guys want to watch these live storms, media guys, you can. They've got great streaming equipment, and they are mostly in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So they're a little ways away from the coast, but in the big storm surge threat area, as well as another 30 miles off the coast. But they're still expecting winds in excess of 115 miles an hour. The eye wall is moving ashore near Cameron, Louisiana, at the moment, with wind speeds sustained near 150 miles an hour, gusting well beyond that. Expected storm surge values of 15 to 20 feet. So this is a cataclysmic event. Earlier in the evening, National Hurricane Center was even tweeting out that this would be unsurvivable storm surge for many areas, especially those along the immediate coast with very low elevations. We fear that that's what's happening right now. We don't have cameras. We don't have live reports coming out of Cameron. We do have one weather flow station, I believe, that's reported a wind gust of 115 miles an hour so far. But that is it. You'll hear some awkward, long silences if you're tuning into this. Let me go ahead and open up the comments just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But this is very laid back. So if you hear us not talking, it's just because it's 1 a.m. and we're a little tired.
If you are watching and you want to provide comments, we're only monitoring the Facebook Live. So Periscope and YouTube, we're streaming there as well. But if you don't mind to bring your comments to the Facebook Live, that way we're only having to keep our eye on one platform. Again, very informal tonight. Early this morning as we continue to watch Laura make its final approaches to landfall, and I was going to pull up the radar here. I hit the wrong tab on my computer. So just give me a second here. I will say we had 115 mile per hour wind gusts earlier, about 10 minutes ago in Cameron, Louisiana, and that is where we anticipate seeing landfall occur. Flip the radar here so you can see. So here we go. Here's the eye. So the eye wall going through Cameron right now. In fact, I would say over the next maybe 10, 15 minutes, it'll be in the middle of the eye and probably dead quiet there. No wind, no rain. Maybe even be able to see some clouds and stars out and the moon before the backside of Laura moves through the area again. Um, this is an extreme wind warning out, flash flood warnings out, tornado warnings out, flood advisories out, uh, all for this area that we're seeing. Let's go over here to some of the winds. In fact, I don't like this product, so let's stop this share. We'll screen share the radar scope. It kind of gives you a better idea of what the winds are looking like. So let's go over here to the velocity. And you can see just all kinds of mess going on here. But you can see this is just off the surface, about 2,000 feet above the surface. We're looking at anywhere 142 mile per hour winds. In fact, Evan, looking at this right here, looks like we've got the eye wall starting to come ashore now, where the winds are starting to lessen, or I don't want to say weaken, but starting to lower here along the coastline. Right there, you're looking at 140, 150 mile per hour winds battering Cameron, Louisiana right now. So our friend Mark Sudduth has a camera there, and we're hoping that it survives the wind and the storm surge because I believe we'll see some amazing pictures out of that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely. He always has great equipment up and just captures some remarkable images. We saw one earlier this evening when a lightning bolt managed to just so happen to hit nearby and illuminated the camera briefly. Despite all the power being out nearby, there was just enough light to see that the water had clearly risen over the road and was encroaching into homes, private business. That storm surge has been slowly moving in initially, but now as that eye wall approaches, it's going to move in like a big wall of water. We've seen this before with Michael, with Katrina. The bulk of that storm surge is going to move in with the eye wall, the core of the storm. So places like Lake Charles haven't seen that quite yet. They're still running above normal sea level heights, but over the next 30 minutes, hour and a half, those numbers are going to spike drastically. And it's going to get pretty concerning. This is not a good look.
Not at all. I was trying to pick out some of the gauges over here and see if we could get some storm surge. So just give me just a second here to see if I can pull something up here. And this will kind of give us an idea of what we're seeing here. I've got so many tabs in my tropical folder that it's gonna scroll through them. Again, if you're watching that, this is very informal. This isn't like any show that we normally do. This is gonna be just kind of, I think Evan said earlier, here's some quiet moments as we look for stuff. But
absolutely, Scotty, I believe I have that pulled up.
Okay.
I'll screen share it. Yes, here we are. This is a list of some of the stations across Louisiana that are going to be affected by the storm. And if you see us trailing off or staring at another screen, we are watching live streams of this happen right now. A couple of chasers, Brett Adair, Chris Jackson, out on the move near Lake Charles, awaiting the worst of the storm yet to come. But for now, if we want to look at some of these stations, we can pull up the Lake Charles, Louisiana plot. You can see there's actually water's being driven out at the moment. Tides, the water levels have dropped almost a foot over the past couple hours, but we will likely see that spike here pretty soon. We're heading into high tide, unfortunately, and it'll be one of the highest tides of the month, which is just an awful coincidence. But that is just for Lake Charles. If you look further downstream, can pull up Cameron, and that is current speed, what, pass. So this is near where the eye wall is moving onshore, and you can see how quickly this storm surge is peaking. See, that was 2,300. We'll go back 30 minutes. About 30 minutes ago, the water heights was 7.52, and now it's all the way up to 9.83 and rapidly rising. So that's 2 feet almost in just 25, 30 minutes. As the bulk of that eye wall continues to move onshore, we're likely going to see this water level go above 10 feet and potentially higher than that, seeing storm surge inundation of 10 to 15 feet above ground level for many locations, which is enough to reach the first floor of a home that's on stilts or completely cover and fill the first floor of a home that is not on stilts. And for many of these parishes, right plural, not the right plural, parishes, there are a lot of houses that aren't on stilts. You can tell it's getting late. I'm struggling to talk. That unfortunately are really going to feel the wrath of this storm.
Yeah, that's something that's again 9.83, and just know that where this is happening, it's pretty flat, and so National Hurricane Center has said that the storm surge could go well inland, up to 30, 40 miles inland. So that's something that definitely is going to be a big story as we go through the next few days. Not only is the wind, but the storm surge and the flooding. Again, they're at the Calcasieu Pass there in Louisiana near Cameron, gusting up to 103.8 knots, as well as that storm surge water level at 9.83 feet now above surface. And this was at 12:12 a.m., 1:12 a.m. our time, 12:12 their time in the central time zone. So yeah, it's some pretty significant storm surge going on there.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't seen, if you follow us on Twitter, you can go over there to pick up the live stream that we're both watching at this time. Live Storms Media has several streams running from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I believe Scott and I are both tuned into Brett Adair's stream at the moment. They are driving around, but looking to settle in shortly to a parking garage as things are starting to get pretty nasty. So you can find that link on our Twitter page. Scotty, we want to post that on our Facebook page?
Yes, I can get that.
Kindly asking you to do it because I don't know how to post on Facebook. Thank you.
You're welcome. Looking at some of the data here. I thought I had something here, but I don't. What's the data scope? We're going to have to get with Shay and see if we can get some of this data. But again, some 116 mile per wind gusts now in Cameron, Louisiana. And that's some serious wind.
116?
116, yeah.
Wow.
That's category 3 in itself. That's 115 is a threshold. So
here, Scotty, Mark Southers just released a new clip. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but I'm gonna screen share real quick to show y'all. So this was the last moments before surge took over the camera in Cameron, Louisiana. Now, earlier in the evening, this camera was well above the water, and now it has unfortunately met its end due to this rapid onset of storm surge as the eye of Hurricane Laura begins to move onshore. Cameron is getting the worst of it right now. Matter of fact, I don't have the radar open at the moment, but I'm sure they're piercing the worst parts of the eye wall at this exact moment. So this sudden storm surge, this is exactly what you guys just saw in that plot a few minutes ago. where the water has risen 2 feet in just the last 25 to 30 minutes. So this is such a huge danger. We talk about the Saffir-Simpson scale on a Category 4 or Category 5 and the differences that are between those two, but the reality is it's a few miles an hour that make the difference between a Category 4 and a Category 5, and when that plays out into reality, it doesn't have huge effects. 145 mile an hour winds obviously do a lot of damage, but there isn't a huge difference between the two categorizations. But this storm surge is going to do quite a bit of damage. And now Scott has got the radar up.
Yeah, so Evan, here's Cameron. Cameron just went through the eye wall. We're starting to see the eye come ashore now. Probably some calm conditions now in Cameron. Probably, I would say, in the next 15 minutes or so, we'll get an official landfall for Hurricane Laura. And again, landfall isn't when it's got to be the center part of the hurricane, so it's got to be almost halfway through before official landfall is determined. But again, Cameron went through the worst now of the eye wall. Let me illustrate here for you. Give me just a second. Oh,
wow!
Here's the outer eye wall. So that is well, that's where the strongest winds are at, and you can see Lake Charles is just up here. So here's this eye wall. That's the most intense wind is right in here. So you can see that's heading up towards Lake Charles right now. So I would say probably in the next 15, 20 minutes, Evan, we'll be seeing the storm chasers, Brett Adair, Chris Jackson out in the field. We'll probably see the most intense wind here in the next 15, 20 minutes or so as this eye wall pushes in into the Lake Charles area.
Absolutely. Getting a new report now from Shay Gibson, panelist of the Carolina Weather Group, working for WeatherFlow. This Cameron sensor now has a pressure down to 943.9 millibars as it begins to break into the eye. I believe the latest 1 p.m. Eastern update from the National Hurricane Center had it pegged at 938 millibars. So this is about as low as the pressure gets in the storm, indicating that the eye is nearly onshore there. But this means areas like Lake Charles that are slightly further inland, the leading edge of that first eye wall pass is rapidly approaching your area, Sulphur, Louisiana as well, and will pass through shortly. 30 minutes, you'll be good to. It's so informal that we can yawn. In 30 minutes, this will begin to affect you guys. High winds, storm surge, rapidly moving up the waterways into the inland areas.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a tweet here on our Carolina Weather Group Twitter page of the eye wall coming ashore now in Cameron. So
got a new wind gust of 120 miles per hour in Camden. Water levels have not updated in several minutes. Oh, they have just updated. Water levels are now up to 10.28 feet, a jump of about a half a foot in 6 minutes. So those numbers are peaking as that pressure, sure.
What was that wind gust there in Cameron?
120.
Yeah, so again, this is very informal. You'll hear pauses as we get stuff out on social media.
And again, water levels continue to fall in Lake Charles, Louisiana, but we expect that that will not be the case for much longer, as that trend will likely reverse soon. This is a good point for anyone who's just now joining in to let us remind you that we are tuned in to Live Storms Media live streams by Brett Adair. We were watching his stream, so if you see us looking away, that is why. I promise we're not watching some TV show. but they are currently located in Lake Charles, experiencing some rapidly deteriorating conditions just outside of a casino there. Um, they've discussed that as the eye wall begins to move through, which will happen soon, they'll have to move into a parking garage for safety reasons. Obviously, it's quite unsafe to be outside in these conditions, even with a SUV or a Suburban. So, just a crazy night unfolding, Scotty. This is one of the nights that no one ever wants to see happen, or days for that matter.
Not at all. And you know, we were looking at a graph that our friend Brad Panovich posted, and showing yesterday, you know, the wind speeds got as high as 90 miles per hour, and then today 150. I think it'll be interesting to see once we get through this storm and we kind of go back and look at all the data. This may be bumped up to a Category 5. There's some evidence floating out there that there was actually some wind speeds of 160 plus that was measured by the hurricane hunters. The Hurricane Center kept the wind speed at 150. So as we go back and kind of look through the data, then we could definitely see this upgraded. No matter high-end Category 4, low-end Cat 5, the impacts are the same. And that's devastating winds, flash flooding, and life-threatening storm surge. So it doesn't matter. 5 mile per hour wind isn't going to do a lot of difference. The impacts are the same, but there's some data going out there that would support this being a Category 5. But again, it doesn't matter. High in Category 4, low in Cat 5, the impacts are the same. So 121 mile per hour wind gusts now.
Sustained 93 miles per hour.
Looking at the Calicosi Pass tide level, 8.4 feet, 8.2 feet above predicted. So again, some storm surge going out there. Waiting for, let's see, we're looking through Twitter and stuff. 127 mile per hour wind gusts now.
And 27, wow. Guys, these are gusts that are occurring on the immediate coastline right now. But it won't be long before we're seeing 100 plus mile per hour gusts in the Lake Charles area, which is significantly more populated than Cameron or the other smaller localities out near the coast. So we're going to start to see, we may actually not even see this physically via photos until tomorrow morning, but damage is going to start to occur. Serious damage is going to start to occur very soon for inland areas. We may be waking up to some rather disturbing damage pictures in the morning. Sure.
Yeah. So Shay Gibson saying the pressure bottomed out at 936 millibars now in Cameron. So
wow, a perfect pass.
And I'm just looking at radar scope here on my phone, and Cameron is now in the eye. So
it's interesting to watch the wind trends from that station. Just a reminder now that there is a extreme wind warning out currently for Cameron, Louisiana, up through Lake Charles. And Brett Adair and Chris Jackson are now pulling into the parking garage as the eye wall begins its final approach. Keep kind of talking to y'all about that. Wow, it is so late. I don't even remember what I was talking about 10 seconds ago.
And these garages, fairly safe structure wise. You do get some of the tumbling effects of the wind, so you probably want to get in like a staircase, but structure wise, they should be able to withstand this wind. But again, livestormchasing.com/map, and then you can go out and pick your storm chaser that you want to follow if you're on there. Again, our friend Chris Jackson is actually, oh, okay, so I'm watching the Weather Channel and Stephanie Abrams literally just about got blown down by a wind gust there in Lake Charles.
Goodness.
Yeah, that was a big gust. She's there on the lakefront, and their storm chaser Charles Peak also heading back to base. So that kind of tells you that things are going downhill quickly in the Lake Charles area as Laura approaches 127-mile-per-hour gusts now at Calicosi Pass as of 12:20 or 12:24, 1:24 our area, our time.
And at that same gauge, there is a water level gauge there as well, which you've been monitoring as it spiked as I approached. At 1:18 our time, Eastern time, that gauge reported a maximum height of 10.28 feet. Over the last 6 minutes, it has actually decreased a little bit. Um, hopefully that means, hopefully that trend continues. But this storm is far from over for places like Cameron, Louisiana, that are now sitting in the eye with the second half of the storm um, preparing to move through. So you're halfway done. Um, Thankfully, we talked about this earlier in the evening on a live hit. There's Chris on the stream. But the storm is moving forward with at a good clip, 15 miles an hour earlier with 8 p.m. update. I'm not sure how that's translated to now. Um, but thankfully, the storm is not lingering and producing these long-term extreme wind gusts over these prone areas. Um,
Yeah, and that's good in one case because maybe we won't see the prolific flooding that we've seen in a lot of cases, but bad in the case of areas well inland could experience some damaging hurricane force winds, up into northern Louisiana, into Arkansas, places like that. And honestly, we could even see some pretty gusty winds ourselves here in the Carolinas on Saturday. So,
yeah, that's definitely something that we're keeping an eye on. And if you're interested in that, you can tune into our social channels over the next couple of days on Twitter and Carolina Weather Group, as we'll be posting more. But for tonight, our eyes are on the Louisiana coast, um, and specifically Cameron, Louisiana, and soon to be Lake Charles, as the storm makes its existence known in those areas.
interesting. The again, excuse me, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but that's okay. The Calicosi Pass is home to a large liquefied natural gas export facility that is currently under construction. Uh, so a lot of folks nervous about how this hurricane will treat that, and that's something that could be concerning. This is coming from a geologist, so um, some damage could be done to some of these places. So definitely want to know that. I would say gas prices will probably be on the upward trend over the next couple of weeks, as a lot of these refineries have had to shut down and evacuate, and trying to get them back online will take time. So.
Those winds are now backing down in Cameron as that eye moves over.
It looks like storm surge got up to a little over 8 feet there at the pass. So. Here's one. I'm sorry. The newest one's showing about tidal gauge, showing the surge at 10 feet now. It's still rapidly rising. So the Weather Channel is showing a tree down in Lake Charles. I would say this is probably the outer bands. A 97-mile-per-hour wind gust at Lake Charles Airport.
97?
Yes, 97.
Wow. You guys want to share my screen real quick so you guys can see the station that we've been talking about in near Cameron, Louisiana, at the Calcasieu Pass, Louisiana. Don't know how to pronounce that. But you can see the rapid increase over the last few hours as the eye wall moved in, and the maximum winds gust of 110 knots, which translates to about 120 some odd miles per hour off the top of my head. That may have been the 127-mile-an-hour gust that we were talking about moments ago. Now that the eye has moved over, we're seeing winds rapidly die off. Now gusting, or this was 15 minutes ago, gusting to 72 knots, 80-ish miles per hour. So these winds will likely continue to fall as the eye moves over, and then we'll see a second maximum and sustained wind speeds as the secondary, the back edge of the eye moves onto shore.
If you go over to the Carolina Weather Group Twitter account, I just tweeted out correlation coefficient showing some biological soundings, I guess is the right word to use, inside the eye wall. And that's most likely some birds that is kind of flying there in the eye wall. Not a lot of wind there for them to combat. So they're just kind of cruising there in the eye wall. So
They get trapped in there.
Yeah, radar can do amazing things sometimes. So just a little.
Really could.
Still waiting for official landfall. Timmer showing some. So looks like the weather station that Mark Sudduth has put out in Sabin Pass, Texas, is no longer registering. So the last reading was 71 mile per hour with a wind gust of 85, and it's no longer registering anything. So. Again, we're very informal tonight. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in. We're in 27 mile per hour wind gusts. I think we already talked about that one.
Turn up the volume a little bit on this stream.
Looks like I would say by the 2 a.m. update, 1 a.m. update, we'll have landfall.
Agree.
And again, I know you may see 150 mile per hour winds, and unfortunately, but also fortunately, there is this is hitting a more rural area, so there's not as many weather stations, instruments to measure wind speed at the surface. So just take it for what it's worth. You know, we're reporting 150 mile per hour wind gusts, but this is a very rural part of Louisiana, so not a lot of weather stations, weather instruments out there to measure the wind speed. So, and again, Evan, there's not a lot of weather stations and instruments that are going to survive 125, 30, 150 mile per hour winds either. So, that's also something that we'll have to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Trying to pull up some data from that station in downtown or in Lake Charles. I might have to finally reposition. I've been sitting on the floor for too many hours. Every time. That's a copyright problem.
I just saw the tweet that we were talking about a little bit earlier off air.
Which one?
The old cranky man.
Oh, I see. Here, y'all. Since Chris Jackson has just live streamed this video on Twitter, I'll go ahead and share it. This is some of the conditions that he's seen that we're also listening on this live stream that we have in front of us. Ooh, and there was a power flash. You just caught that. They did just report a wind speed of 104 wind gusts. What you got?
That was some debris just flying by Stephanie Abrams. She is literally bracing herself as this wind continues to just howl in Lake Charles.
This is actually live from Chris, which is awesome. I didn't realize that he was going to be live much this evening. And I have lost his stream on the TV, but this works well. I can get that back.
127 mile per hour wind gusts now. I think we already talked about that.
Yeah. Wow, lots of power flashes on Chris's live stream. 500 viewers currently. Goodness. But I'm going to stop this just for a moment to make sure that I'm allowed to be live streaming this.
So it looks like everyone is hunkering down now in the parking garage.
Yeah.
So 104 mile per hour wind gusts reported now at the Lake Charles Regional Airport. And that's 30 some miles inland off the coast.
Mm-hmm. Wind speeds have continued to fall. As of 10 minutes ago in Cameron, or near Cameron, Louisiana, speeds had fallen to sustained 34 knots. So just a mere 38, 39, 40 miles per hour there as the eye passes over, and they will approach calm, and likely are approaching calm now as the back edge of the wall starts to work its way a little bit closer, and once the back edge of the eye wall moves back into Cameron, conditions will once again deteriorate rapidly. As for water levels, I have not checked on those recently, so I'll check on them. I'm not sure if we'll have an update on that. That's unfortunate. So I will share my screen then. Just a few moments ago, we had talked about the water levels near Cameron, Louisiana, and how for a brief moment they actually decreased over a 6-minute period, which hadn't happened in quite some time. But now, unfortunately, they have started to increase once again, and tide levels are now up to 10.5 feet, which is a little over 8.4 feet above their average tide for this time of day. It's about an 8.5 foot storm surge currently. We can check out some of the other water levels while I'm here.
So Cameron is now smack in the middle of the eye wall.
Okay.
So I would assume landfall will probably be made here in the next 4 minutes with the 2 o'clock update.
It's going to be a very neat mediogram.
Extreme wind warning's now been extended till 3 a.m.
I saw someone speculating a few moments ago on Twitter that the reason we're seeing this drop in water level at the Lake Charles gauge is that this gauge is located on the western side of the water, or pardon me, the eastern side, and the water is being driven over to the west. So if you look at this other gauge, you can view the current. The current has been west, strongly out of the east to the west over the last little while. So likely, if that tide gauge were located on the western side of the lake of Lake Charles, we would be seeing a much higher number.
Yeah, interesting. So right now it looks like 127 miles per hour is the highest wind gust that we've been able to record. That would be a Cat 3, high-end Cat 3, I believe. Cat 4 starts at what, 130? Or 125? Can't remember. I don't have my Cat. It's 130.
I don't remember the exact cutoff, but the Saffir-Simpson scale dictates that a Category 4 begins at 130 miles per hour.
Yeah, so close. Current level now at Calacosi Pass is 10.53 feet of storm surge. So that's almost 11 feet. A wall of water. Just imagine, I hate to compare this, but it's almost like a tsunami. You know what I mean? Imagine 11 feet of water just rolling in. I mean, it's just a lot of homes. There's higher still homes. I think 100, about 15 feet off the ground or something like that. So.
One of the tornado warnings that's out right now for areas like Lafayette, Jennings, and Eunice, Louisiana, just to the east of Lake Charles, is 116 miles long. Jeez. From corner to corner. That has got to be in the books as one of the largest tornado warnings of all time.
So, all right.
Extremely
dangerous Category 4 Hurricane Laura makes landfall near Cameron, so it has made landfall.
So we have the official news.
So we can say landfall has been achieved. we'll get that out on our social media platforms here.
I'm gonna throw a headphone in so I can listen to that stream. Scotty, go look at Chris's live stream. I'm pretty sure he's got a tornado on live stream right now. I'm pulling it up for the stream.
You know, I don't see it. Let me see. It's not one to pull up. Let me hold on.
I've got it shared. Wow.
Okay, I see it now. Crazy not to be there, that's for sure.
Yeah. This is actually, Chris is now showing a view of the parking deck that he's in. This is where they're taking shelter as the eye wall gets ready to barrel through Lake Charles, Louisiana. And again, I'm not entirely certain that we should be broadcasting this. I won't share it for too long. I'll kill the share for a few minutes. But wow, that's intense stuff. Likely a brief tornado on that stream about 3 minutes ago.
So we have landfall, category 4. This would make it, we had Michael last year was a category 5, but again, one of the stronger hurricanes that's made landfall here in the United States in quite a while.
Mm.
My computer is on overload. I'm trying to get all of our landfall info out on our social pages, and it's not wanting to work with me. Now, Jim Cantori, if you're watching on the Weather Channel, Jim Cantori, the weather is calmer now where he's at there in Lake Charles. So doesn't quite make sense to me, but
The owl is closing in. I'm trying to load up a radar real quick so I can keep track of all this timing. Could be the death of it.
again, for the people who are watching, we appreciate you watching. Again, this is very informal. It's 2 a.m. We're pretty tired. We'll probably go to bed here soon. Evan and I, we always say we like to watch at least make official landfall. So
I just want to see it move through Lake Charles. That is my goal for the night. And then it will be time to call it quits. All right. A couple too many people talking about the Jeff Petrowski live stream. I think I need to give up radar scope and see if I can pull that up. Golly, day, everyone's talking about Jeff. Twitter. Not live. Where's it? Oh, I'm not sure he's actually live.
Need to make a note. I just realized we have another UNC Charlotte alum covering the Hurricane tonight. We could reach out to him.
Good. North Carolina rep. I still can't get a radar loaded. It's all right. Oh, there's Jeff. Those who may or may not remember, Jeff Piotrowski was Blue Shed guy in Hurricane Harvey.
Yes, Harvey. Probably yes.
2 years back. If you know the story behind Blue Shed, good for you. Good one. If you don't, basically, there was a blue shed that everyone thought was going to blow over on Jeff Piotrowski's live stream during Hurricane Harvey. And by some special power, it actually managed to stay in one spot and not blow away. And that may sound like a very lame story, but to everyone who was awake at 2 a.m. watching that stream, it was very intense.
So Twitter's going to buzz. I've not paid attention, but it seems like the old Lake Charles weather radar is dead.
What's dead?
The radar. It's not updated in 13 minutes.
Uh-oh.
And that's about when the outer wall, eye wall, was making its approach. So
I wasn't using radar anyway.
it may have served its purpose, but I think the radar is dead now. So
I'm going to give up on the live stream for a minute and go look at that radar. Oh, yeah. I'd say she's dead.
yeah, I think it's dead.
It's got that the red lettering.
So Catherine Prosif are stating that Hurricane Laura is the strongest hurricane to strike the state of Louisiana in 164 years.
Wow.
Last time we had a stronger hurricane was the last island hurricane of 1856.
Good.
Also
56.
150 miles per hour. I hate to say this. I don't know if many of you guys who monitored, but National Hurricane Center has already highlighted another area of interest coming off the African coast.
We discussed this earlier for those that are tuning in now after our live hit earlier this evening. Just briefly, that the extended range forecast models show a wide range of possible solutions for tropical cyclones over the next 14 days. There could be several different locations and waves that spin off tropical named storms. It's going to get busy. Laura, I would say Laura is just the beginning, but it's not. This is the L named storm, and it's only August 27th. This is the 6th named storm, I believe, of the year to make landfall, which is a record for this date. It just keeps going.
Yes. For those who like to monitor Jim Cantori, he has got his helmet on now.
Good. Well, that's a sign that this eyewall's getting ready to move in. I've got Chris in one ear and picking up.
Now we are getting reports that the next radar site, which would be at Pope Air Force Base, is also a cult.
Oh, it's not good. Oh,
So I guess we could go over to Houston, see what Houston looks like. Still a little bit farther away. Let's see what New Orleans looks like. That's the terminal. It's too sloppy.
wind speeds near Cameron bottomed out, or at least 11 minutes ago. We're down to 9 knots.
So, just the hotel that looks like I don't know if that's Kim Torrey or Stephanie Abrams, but looks like there's been some structural damage done here too.
Hmm.
Or Stephanie, yeah, this is breaking news here on the Weather Channel. All of the production crew is outside. Live storm media also there. Something flew off the building here.
So they're in. See if I can pull up that stream then.
Yeah, so this is Stephanie Abrams' location. I just see my buddy Mike Fomo on there.
We said LSM is there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they may be standing there at the casino.
Yeah, let's see who's streaming that. Brandon's streaming right now. Can't see much.
I'm going to turn up the volume here, see if I can figure out what's going on. Okay, so it looks like it's a pool cabana, and the roof is about to be blown off right now, live on TV.
Brandon Kopic's right there. LSM live.
This is phenomenal right here.
Wow.
So they are going through the eye wall right now.
Wow.
Oh, there goes the cabana sighting.
Is it like a tan, yellowish cabana?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm watching too. Wow, it is rocking. Yeah, there's the TWC guys. Cameraman. Oh, ton of glass just blew out and landed. Oh my goodness.
Oh, someone's wanting to know if you always had a beard, Evan. No.
I have not. This is new during COVID. It's
Jennifer's wanting to know.
yeah, Jennifer. It's new since coronavirus started back in March, and really, I didn't start growing it until July, I guess. I like it. I like the short length. I need my hair up top a little bit shorter, and it'll be all good. Feel grungy right now. Look at 2:15 a.m. I could really use a shower. Are they still reporting from outside? That
No, it's a commercial.
yeah, that's them. Oh, I won't say it in real life. That's a good call. At a wind gust of 108 miles per hour at Lake Charles Airport. That eye wall is moving through now. If y'all want to join in, watch some of the stuff that we're so silently gazing at, you can join at, I'll give you a URL for those that are watching, livestormchasing.com/map. Just map once. We've tweeted this link out earlier on Twitter, and currently I'm watching Brandon Kopic, who is at the same hotel as the Weather Channel reporters, as this hotel gets torn apart, unfortunately. Definitely starting to see some structural damage, and some very violent winds, glass flying through the air. That's what we're watching. You can also watch Brett Adair on the same platform.
Evan, the Kasalua Pass up to 11 feet now in storms.
Oh,
Storm surge.
Still going up.
Looks like we had a.
Well, that station has a pressure gauge. They gave out. Dang it. Unfortunate.
It's amazing to see. Just seeing Josh Morgan. If you follow us on Twitter, you can get a Carolina WX group. See that. I just retweeted it. Power's still on. 110 mile per hour winds blowing through Lake Charles, and power's still on.
That would be enough to put us out of power for about a month here in West Carolina, if not more. Wow. I'm about to lose Brandon's stream. It's so extreme.
It's definitely some intense stuff going on right now.
Water levels. Yeah, 11.07 feet away. Right at high tide, too. Maybe we can get live ASOS data. I recognize somebody tweeted out a screen grab a couple minutes ago, and I recognize the website, but I don't recognize it well enough to remember the URL.
Oh, there you go, Evan. The camper that we were waiting for got blown over.
Sad I missed the moment. I'm sure I'll see it all over Twitter here in a minute. That'll be clipped by every news agency. Wow.
It's like I can Cabana did it. Oh, what's that guy in the yellow jacket though?
Is he gonna go out there? Oh! He just took a glass pane to the top of this. Did you see that?
Yes.
Are you watching?
Yeah, it's live on the Weather Channel right now.
The guy in the yellow?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Cantori's coming in. Something just blew past him.
Wow, that guy is really lucky. He was about 6 inches away from getting a whole lot of glass in his head.
This is the eye wall. Oh, Cantori's gone off screen. Where'd he go?
This has become live commentary of the Weather Channel. Some big noise. Something's breaking. Turn that up.
That hotel is getting destroyed. Looks like at least the TV feeds are starting to get scattered.
The TV teams.
The feed, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So was Brandon's. It's very pixelated.
Looks like the back side of the eye wall's getting ready to come back into Cameron.
I'll keep a close eye on those wind speeds over the next 10 to 15. The water levels are doing. Shoot, I might get to see this 60 NAM at this point. No, if I'm up for another 2 hours, there's something really wrong.
If you're watching us, this is just weather. We're just weather geeks speaking out.
Chris is just tweeting that they're gusting to 111 knots, about 120 miles an hour. I guess in that parking garage. I'm not sure if that's the parking garage or if that's Lake Charles Airport. But they may likely have wind anemometers with them to measure wind speeds up there. So we'll see. Oh, there's the whole Weather Channel. Goodness.
$128 at Lake Charles.
128.
Yep.
Oh, I get to hit it. There's the video of the camper. Oh, it's over. Yeah, that was pretty lackluster. 128. Wow. It's even stronger than Cameron.
I haven't seen that on Twitter yet, but yeah, there
I
it
see it on,
is.
I see it on Twitter. Yeah.
So if you imagine 128 there, imagine what it was down in Cameron.
Right. It's certainly possible that locations along the coast experience winds even greater than what Lake Charles is seeing now. Um, Winds potentially in excess of 130 miles an hour, just likely leading to catastrophic damage. 9 feet of storm surge, at least, that we've seen reported, possibly more. There's another confirmation of 128 miles per hour. So that 128 came from the airport.
Yeah.
What website is this from? Recognize it. You know what the ASOS tag is for that station? Lake Charles. Oh, never mind. I got it. You'll see. Sure. I lost Brandon's stream, I think.
Yep. I would imagine that.
Got it. Is the Weather Channel stream still going?
Yes, they are.
Brandon may have just stepped out. No? I'm still watching.
It's like the Dan Satterfield, probably one of the most knowledgeable meteorologists there is
Oh,
on planet Earth.
sorry.
So Lake Charles radar is down perhaps literally. The Kalasui Pass water level has past record and are over 11 feet. Waves on top of that. Any buildings near the coast are submerged or gone. 128-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Lake Charles Airport.
Brett Adair's is now venturing out of the parking garage.
Oh, yeah.
That is a bold move.
Cantori's got his vest on.
I sure hope so.
Just saw a video on Twitter. People running to shelter at a hotel in Sulphur.
That's where Josh Morgerman is. Tell you what, Scotty. Do we want to draw this stream to an end?
Yes.
I'd love to pull up the weather channel, but I'm going to need my computer to do it.
Alrighty. All right.
For the live
Well,
stream. So.
Thank you for watching. We were able to be on as it made landfall, and we appreciate you watching. And y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you later.
Adios.